mu wa mbere mu murenge w'iwacu njya kwiga muri bwo conseil kuko nari narahasabye narize neza ndatsinda ngeze mu wa gatatu ndwanira kuko bazongera bakampemba mu wa kane ariko biranga nagize amanota 8 bafata 7 barabahemba ariko ntabwo nacitse intege. Imbuto Foundation rero turayishima cyane kuko batubara hafi bakatubwira mwigirire icyizere mwige nyine mu kwiga kwacu niho badufasha. Hari club bafunze mu bigo aho tuvuga tukicara tukavuga ati tugomba kuba abakobwa basobanutse. Abakobwa basobanutse ntabwo ari ukuvuga ngo ugende mu nzira ugende asobanutse, oya umukobwa usobanutse mu bwenge uvuga abantu bakavuga atavuze ijambo ry'abantu bakuru utinyutse ufitiye icyizere mu byo akora byose kandi tugakomeza no kuba intangarugero mu bandi ukumva nta soni ufite zo guhaguruka ubabwira igitekerezo cyawe ukumva nta soni ufite zo guhaguruka ngo usobanurire abahungu bicaye aho ngaho kandi tukaba twumva ubu ngubu dushobora kujya ku isoko n'abahungu tugakompeta kandi tukaba twabarusha kandi birakunda.
None se n'iki wabwira niba inama wohereza ku bana b'abakobwa bakiri muri primaire?
Inama naha abana b'abakobwa bakiri muri primaire nuko bagomba kwishyiramo icyizere. Kenshi umuntu aragenda akabika amakayi akayafata mu gitondo agiye mu ishuri nta gusubira mu masomo, uragenda akajya gukina imyaka yayo ikibemerera bagafata akadansi bakajya mu kibariko n'ibindi ariko bafata umwanya wabo bige. Ubuyobozi bw'igihugu cyacu nabwo turi inyuma buradushyigikiye ariko kandi twige kandi turashoboye. Nta mpamvu yo kugira ngo bajye bahora bavuga abakobwa ni ugusunikiriza no kwingirira ubwenge turabufite tubukoreshe kandi turabushoboye. Nabo bagira ishyaka bagira intego mu buzima bwabo kandi bumve ko bagomba kubigeraho byanze bikunze. Imbogamizi zijya zibaho nk'abakobwa sinzi njye ntabwo mbibona cyane kuko ziba zihariye ko niga mu bakobwa gusa n'imyaka yose neze mu bakobwa ntabwo nabwo neza ziba zihariye cyane ubona ari ibintu bisanzwe ariko nko muri primaire abana baba bisuzugura bitinya cyane ariko nta kindi mu ishuri uvuga ngo wenda baragira nk'umupaka ati umukobwa ntagomba gukora ibi ngibi, oya ni imyumvire. Ahandi Imbuto Foundation yafashe iya mbere yo kuvuga ngo mubanze musobanuke mu mutwe mumve ko musobanutse mufite ubushobozi mwigiremo icyizere ko n'ibindi byose turabishobora.
Nitwa Musanze niga muri Notre Dame du Sito umwaka wa 5 imibare ubugenge n'ubutabire. Mumbajije icyo naba narakoresheje kugira ngo mbe muri uyu mubare w'abana 100 bahembwe n'Imbuto Foundation. Njye nahembwe mu mwaka wa 2010 muri troncome ngo ni ukuvuga ko njye nari nabaye umukobwa wa mbere mu karere. Kugira ngo rero ibyo mbigereho nakoresheje imbaraga kuko nigaga mu kigo cy'abahungu n'abakobwa kandi bakaba baravugaga ngo nta mukobwa wagutsinda ngo aze imbere, bakaba baravuga ngo abakobwa nta mukobwa wagakwiriye kuturengaho. Njye rero naravuze ngo ubwenge mufite nanjye ndabufite. Icya mbere nakoresheje ni imbaraga, nakoresheje igihe cyanjye neza kuko tuzi ko muri values twagakwiriye kugenderaho harimo gukoresha igihe neza, harimo kugira intumbero, kugira ikintu wiyemeza kuzageraho. Kuba rero njye nari nariyemeje mvuga ngo ngomba kuzatsinda nkaba uwa mbere ndetse nkajya no kwiga mu kigo cyiza muri section nshaka ariyo PCM. Rero nakoresheje igihe cyanjye neza, nagize iyo ntumbero ari nayo yamfashije gutsinda ndetse ngira no kumva barakundaga kuvuga ngo abakobwa mufite imbaraga nuko mwitinya nuko na self confidence mwigirira. Nigire rero self confidence bituma tsinda ngo wa mbere kandi numva ko koko ari ishema ryanjye gutsinda kuba wa mbere nkagira amanota meza.
Urumva ko ari intumbero kuko uyihaye ni iki wasaba koko noneho ubu bari mu wa mbere mu wa kabiri bari muri bakomeye muri cya cyiciro kugira ngo basagire nawe ahandi ndetse bazabe banajyana muri kaminuza bafatanyije n'intumbero unateganya mu myaka itanu?
tronkome ndetse n'abari muri pirimeri, icya mbere ni ukugira intumbero, kuko iyo ufite ikintu ugamije kuzageraho ukoresha imbaraga zawe zose kugira ngo ukigereho. Ikindi kintu nabasaba ni ugukoresha igihe neza. Iyo ukoresha igihe neza bigufasha kurangiza neza ibyo wiyemeje mu gihe wateganije. Ikindi nabasaba kandi ni ugukora byose wumva ko ari ishema ry'igihugu cyawe, ukunda igihugu cyawe. Ibintu byose ukoze ukunze igihugu, uzi guharanira ko igihugu cyawe kigira ishema, gitera imbere, uzakoresha imbaraga zawe zose kandi nta kabuza bazabigeraho kuko byaramfashije. Nanjye rero intumbero yanjye mu myaka iri imbere uko numva nzaba enjeniyeri, nshaka gusiga civil engineering kandi nkazayigira ahantu koko hafatika hatanga ubumenyi buhambaye. Numva rero intumbero yanjye numva ari uko naziga civil engineering nkayigira mu mugabane wa Amerika, ku buryo nzaza nkora bimwe bitakozwe n'abandi, bimwe mbona bitarangijwe neza mu bambanjirije. Rero ndamutse nyigezeho numva byazanteza imbere, bigateza imbere umuryango wanjye ndetse n'igihugu cyanjye. Intumbero rero iramfasha kandi nkaba nshishikariza bagenzi banjye kugira icyo biyemeza, bagakoresha igihe neza, bagaharanira ishema ry'igihugu cyabo, bakigirira icyizere kandi byose nta kabuza bazabigeraho.
Today is a workshop that we are putting together 100 students who were awarded by Musanze Foundation. In 2005, we had a program that began promoting education, particularly for girls. This was an initiation by the First Lady, Her Excellency Janet Kagame. Really, the objective of this program really is to promote girls' education, and it falls under one of our programs called the Youth Empowerment Program. Musanze Foundation every year brings together 100 of the girls that were awarded, and awarded in terms of girls who exceedingly did well in primary, 6 and O-level and A-level. It's a way to promote girls' education, but also to create awareness on the importance of girls' education and retention in school. Today is a special day because it brings these girls together. It is a time for us to talk to them, to help them to set their goals, to talk about values, to build their self-confidence, and so that they mature enough to make correct decisions and eventually become valued citizens for the country. And so it's a one-day workshop, and we hope that today will be a beginning for these girls to make informed choices. Thank you very much.
Is there a particular message you offer to these girls today?
Musanze Foundation, as it sounds, is a seed. The meaning of Musanze, as we all know, is a seed, and we at Musanze have implanted a seed in these girls. They have done well. We've provided scholarships to them. They have exceedingly done well, and the message for us from now on is for these girls to go out there and to make decisions, to build their confidence, to be able to know what values are, and to be dignified citizens of the country. They can only do that if they are empowered, and that's what our aim is. We want to empower these girls because they are at that age of being able to make the right choices at the right time, to be confident in decisions, and also as they grow up they need to know the importance of setting goals, the importance of time management, the importance of organizing themselves, organizational skills, and the importance of being able to speak to their peers, to their adults, and that can only happen if at Musanze we build confidence in them. So we hope that this day will be a fruitful day for them and a dream for them.
This meeting is to ask how we can be number one and stay as number one. We don't want to be better than the boys. That is not the objective. We're going to be the best girls that we can be. And the boys will be the best boys they can be. Is that okay? The objective is for you to raise above whatever it is that you are having. What is this thing that is challenging you? Have you come to this meeting and you're saying, I have so many things, I am stressed, I'm unhappy, things are not going the way I want it to go? Don't worry, you're in the right place. You are number one. You are being celebrated in this province. And we are celebrating you even as Imbuto Foundation. But being number one, as I said, is easy. Staying number one is the challenge. So the question is, how do we stay number one? How do we stay as number one? I want to invite you to a conversation. All of us. I want to invite all of us to a conversation with ourselves. I want you to talk to yourself. Do you understand? Talk to yourself. I'm going to ask you many questions. But it's the same questions I asked myself when I was your age. The same things I wondered. Will I be successful? Why should I go to school? Will I ever be anybody? Will I make anything out of myself? But then I know now, the reason I'm here is because I want to be a testimony for you. I want you to know you can get where I am. I believe in you. Do you believe in me? I want us to have a conversation about dreaming. But before I start, let me give you a bit of my background. I want you to know who I am, because I think I know who you are. Okay? My name is Elizabeth Mwangi. I'm about 35 years old. How many of you have been to Kigali? Imagine, I have come all the way from Nairobi to come to Kigali. And you've come from Southern Province to Kigali is 2 hours. From Nairobi to here is 24 hours. When I take a bus. If I am flying, it is 1 hour. And it's very expensive. But it can be done. I went to high school in a public school in Kenya. I was born and raised in Kenya. My parents were not necessarily the rich, as people say. But I also went to school with some children of the ministers, and I was in a mixed school. So we had people of different capacities. In primary school, I was not number one. Many times we want you to think we were number one. I was not always number one. But I wanted to be number one. I really wanted to be number one. So what I knew in our school system, if you don't pass, you don't go to the next level. All I needed was to make the grades to pass. So I would pass to go to the next level, pass to go to the next level. One day, I heard my mother say to my teacher, she's very clever. I don't know why she doesn't do what she's supposed to do. You understand? Because you can have the capacity, but are you using it? No. So now, when we finished high school, I passed my exams. I wanted to get 500 marks. I got 493. So I didn't go to a national school. I went to a provincial school, like a province school, which was good. When I got to this school, there were many students, very many students. And all of them are from different parts of the country, different backgrounds, different nationalities. And when we get to school, you're given your class number, your class ID, according to the marks that you had. So in my class, I was number 17. So you can imagine. So what did I do to compensate? Because I really like attention. I became the noisemaker. Every time I'm talking, I'm trying to be everybody's friend. And that is what I was doing. And all I wanted for me, I was like, if I'm number 17, if I improve to number 13, number 12, I'll be okay. You understand? And that's what I wanted. All I wanted was just to prove a point that I'm not number 17. Because anyway, the system had decided that I'm number 17 because of the marks I had come with, my past. Now, I was in a new class And all I wanted was just to improve just enough to make my parents happy and to impress myself. Was I becoming number one? No. I was not very keen on number one because I was telling myself, now between number 1 and 17 there are so many. If I can just get to number 10, at least I'll be top 10. Do you understand? So I limited myself and I said, let me just try top 10. But in the process, I was still the noisemaker. I was still trying to be very happy and fit in. My classmates and some of my friends came from rich families. So I was trying, because it was a boarding school, I went to a boarding school. Some of them came from rich families where their parents gave them a lot of money, they had a lot of attention, they carried snacks to school. I didn't have that kind of privilege. So because I didn't have it, and I didn't want to be thrown out of the club, I want to be part of the group. So because of that, I began to do a lot of talking, to try to impress everybody. In class, I'm making jokes. You know, I'm not taking my schoolwork seriously because I thought that my social life was more important. But you know what? At some point, we had to share, to impress your friends, you had to use your money. That is the way it is. It's just a system. I think it was just something that was in high school because some people will want to feel they are more important than you, so they'll show off their money. But it's their parents' money anyway. So at some point, when it came to showing off money, I could not show off my money. Because if every day people are going to buy a snack, I am not able to afford it. I can't keep going with them and saying, please give me, please give me. Now people will just say, what is wrong with this one? We don't want somebody to borrow all the time. So I began to feel bad because my friends didn't like me anymore. This is high school. It's my first form, as we call it form 1, for you call it A1. It's like A1. A-level, yeah, that's A-level 1, eh? A1. O-level is primary. Now this is high school. A1 is still high school. High school starts from which year? O-level. Okay, so senior 1. So maybe I can say senior 1. Maybe say senior 1, because I don't know how your system and ours is different. At some point I didn't have friends, and I became very upset, because I didn't seem to fit in their category. And then I was saying, I'm already number 17. After all, these people were richer, and they had more money, but also on the higher numbers in the ranking. So all I needed was just to be near them to prove that I was good enough. But then I discovered that was not all that was. So one day when I went home, my older sister was in Form 3, and she was number 1 in her school. And I began to ask myself, how come you're number 1? Me, I'm not number 1. But she told me, high school is very easy. High school is very easy to be number 1. All you need to do is read. That's what took you there. You didn't go there to make friends. You're not here to show off anything. Just go and read. Read, understand, and it's easier than maybe primary school. Primary school, we're teaching you how to read and write and think. But in high school, you're being taught how to think. You are told the sun is round. True? You are told the earth is round. But now in high school, they're explaining why it is round. By the time you get to university, you begin to challenge, should it be round? Do you understand? So it's the same information, but you get it at a higher level, every stage that you go. So my sister told me, you can be number 1. And she believed in me, but I didn't think so about myself. By the time we got to third term, I was number 4. And I was very happy with myself. Those people who didn't want me suddenly wanted to be my friends. What does that tell you? People want to be associated with success. The only reason I'm in this room is because you were successful. True? True? Yes. The only reason Imbuto is proud to put their billboard outside there is because you are a success. You're a success to this place. But as I said, it's easy to be number 1. But it's not easy to stay number 1. And that is why we're in this workshop. Because you have all these other things that will be affecting you. That was my first year. But is it just number 1? Was it just good enough for me to be number 4? Now that I was number 4 and I saw how much attention it was giving me, remember I like attention. So now I discovered that I don't have to get attention by making noise. I will get attention by being the best. I decided I'll be number 1. By the time I got to the senior 2, that is like Form 2 for you now. Form 2 for us, senior 2 for you. I was number one. I was not number one in my class. I was number one in all the senior 2 classes. And between me and the second person was more than 50 points. I was very happy. You should clap for me, surely. And I was actually shocked at myself. Because all I wanted was just to be number 10. But then I discovered that I was limiting myself. Just before we started these conversations, I was just going out and talking to a few people and asking, what number were you in school? And someone tells me they were number 3, and I say, you're happy to be number 3? I say, yeah, the marks are okay. Are you really going to be number 3? Question is, what number were you in your school? If you were number 1, are you number 1? Can you be number 1 in Rwanda, or are you just number 1 in the Southern Province? I did not maintain my number 1. Let me not lie to you. I dropped to number 2, number 3. The worst I ever became was number 3. Competition was fierce, which was a good thing. But I also knew that I didn't have to drop significantly. I just maintained my 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, like that. But it was not just competing inside my classroom. I was now competing outside of my classroom. I left high school. And I remember one time when we went to the airport to take my dad, he was going to a business meeting, which had been sent by his office. And I stood at the airport and I looked at the airport and said, God, I would like to be on the other side. You know, when you go to the airport, you're always on this side, not the side for the aeroplane. I just wanted to enter an aeroplane. But I knew that it was not yet time. So I needed to stay focused. And so over time, I finished high school. By the time I finished high school, I wanted to be a pharmacist, but I missed it by 1 point. But God is good, I got to do a business degree. I did my business BCom in marketing and HR. Then I left, I worked for a few companies. I went back and did my master's program. I finished my master's, I worked, then I moved to Rwanda. Now I work in Rwanda. I have enjoyed a lot of things, and probably I'll share with you some of my experiences. I know I have a limited time. But today's thing and our theme was that we must dream. We must be able to dream. Right now you're in high school, and sometimes maybe the things I'll talk about, you think they're impossible. The reason why I'm introducing myself to you is because I was there. Those things I've said, I'm sure you have gone through the same. Is that true? Do you have people who look at you and think, you're not my type? Is that true? But when you become number 1, will they talk to you like that? No. People will not disrespect you. Don't earn your respect in any other way as a lady, as a person. Be the best that you can be. As I said, we're not looking to become better than the boys. That is not our objective. We're going to be the best girls that there are, even as the boys become the best that they can be. Because you were created to be you, and that is it. So I want us to talk something about how can we dream big and act, which is our theme for today. I have only 3 points. I said I don't want to talk too much. I would like to give you an opportunity to ask questions, which is going to be the next session. But I'm going to talk about 3 things. And I said this is a conversation about you. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself and write down. Don't be in a hurry to write notes, because I can send you all this material. What I want you to write is what you're hearing in your heart. What do I want to do different? The objective of information is not to inform, but to transform. Do you understand? It is not to, it is to, exactly. It must change you. What is the reason? Why should you come to this meeting? Why did you come here anyway? Is it because we were going to give you a free t-shirt and free lunch? No. You knew that you were coming because you were going to, something is going to be different. Make up your mind not to leave this room today with all the conversations we're going to have the same. You will be a different person. So we're going to talk about 3 things. 1, the dream giver. 2, my dream, because we're both dreaming. Yes? And 3, the results. So I'll start with the dream giver. What can you see?
I can see 4 eggs.
Excellent. Someone can see eggs, another person can see 4 eggs. What can you see?
I see 4 eggs, 1 is over others.
Excellent. It gets better. 4 eggs, 1 is over others. Okay, thank you very much. Now let me ask you the second question. What can you see? Please stop looking with your eyes. What can you see? What can you see?
I see 4 eggs, but what they mean in myself is in many things, but there is one which is the best among them.
Very well said. Let's clap for her. Thank you.
When you're a good egg, you can hatch. Out of you, you'll be able to bring many other people to support different communities. You have that capacity. It's inside that egg. Are we together? Yes. Secondly, as an egg, you can be you. We shall use you as you are. One day you'll become a professional in your own capacity. You will be giving a service as you, Solange. You'll give that service. True? Why? Because you are created with that capacity. Thirdly, you could be used to support other people. That is when you're making an egg. You'll be just one of the ingredients. Remember, every doctor needs a nurse. True? Yes. Every president needs a driver. He cannot be the president, the driver, the minister, the governor. He needs all those people. So even for him, he needs very good quality people. Question is, what quality of an egg are you? Because if you're a bad one, do you think he'll want you? No. Can you give a service as an individual? No. Can you support the creation of the next generation? Because the chick will hatch. That is the next generation. Is that true? That is what you need to remember about yourself. You have the capacity inside of you. Some of you, when I was asking, and they're saying they're okay to be number 3, because you're not very far from number 1. You have capacity to be number 1. Why are you not number 1? You cannot say because a boy was ahead of me. That is an excuse. All right? If you have something, what is this something? What were you created to be? All those eggs were sitting there, but not all of them are going to be used in the same way. All of you are the best in this province, but not all of you are going to be used in the same way.
Do not compete with the rest of the world before you have competed with yourself. Don't try to be me. I can give you this dress you wear. Will you become me? No. Don't be cheated, because my capacity is inside of me. What I am is in me already. By the time you see the maize seed on the table, you know that if I put it in the ground, it is going to come out as maize. Simple, finished. My question is, now we have sold you into school. What are you going to come out as? That's what you need to ask yourself. Are you going to be a good egg? Or are you going to be a bad egg? Because a bad egg cannot produce chicks, cannot bake a cake, and cannot be eaten. All those things you must consider, even as you dream. Think about it. Let's go to the Isoko. You know what's Isoko? I know a bit of Kinyarwanda, so don't catch up with me. I just can't have a long conversation. If you go to the Soko, and you're buying maize, beans, there's all these things, and there are some which look bad, will you take them? At that point, really. But if all of them are good, you'll choose what to do. When the farmer has put a maize seed in the ground, what does he expect? A good harvest. He'll get maize. If you take a whole bag of beautiful maize and take it to the market, which people come to the market? Do you choose who comes to the market? No. So you'll be sitting in the market. You will be the maize seed which we have harvested as Imbuto Foundation. We will say we put all these girls through school, they went, they were number one, they were the best in the world. And then you will sit, and then we will have to come and buy. My question is, when we buy, how can we use it? Will we buy? That's number one. Will we buy? Should you get a scholarship because there's nobody to give it to, or because you earned it? Because some of you were number one when you left primary. Why are you not number one in high school? What has changed? I talked to a few people, maybe they think I'm attacking them. No, many people have told me the same things. This conversation, as I said, is about all of us. Why are you settling for number two and not number one? You have got to be the best there can be. Because one of these days when you sit in the marketplace, if I go to Kimironko market supplies, it's in Kigali, it's called Kimironko market. In that market supplies the whole of Kigali with food. The ministers eat from Kimironko. I'm sure the president gets something from Kimironko. The doctors get from Kimironko. The drivers get from Kimironko. Even I get from Kimironko. True? Or is it Chimironko? The maize which we buy is the best quality maize. When the president goes to buy, or let's say, sorry, our first lady, Jeanette, will go to buy, she'll buy the best maize for her family. True? If I go to buy, I'll buy the best for my family. If the minister goes to buy, he'll buy the best for his family. This maize, all it needs to be is the best for it to be taken up. You never know where you're going to be served in the world. Some of the maize is exported, it is sent to another country. Some of it is going to be dried, crushed, made into flour and exported. Some of it will be bought by maybe the United Nations to feed the hungry people in another country. Some of it will become porridge. Some of it will become food in the houses of kings and queens and important people. But all of them want quality. Now I want to think of yourself right now as a maize seed that has already gone under. By the time it comes to the market, if it is bad, it is too late to change anything. Do you understand? You cannot change the maize at the marketplace. You cannot change the quality of the maize at the marketplace. You need to become the best you can be now. Don't keep saying, when I grow up, I'm going to be better. No. You cannot be number one then if you're not number one now. Because when you come to the market, we shall only be looking for the best. And first, I want to applaud all of you because you came to the market as the best. Please clap for your neighbor because they are the best. You're sitting near the best person. Clap for your neighbor. If even you're clapping for me, I will be happy. Can you really celebrate them? Can you clap for them like you're really happy they are the best? That's why they're being awarded today with you. You can't clap for them like and be happy for them. I was created for success.
I was created for success.
You believe it?
Yes, I believe it.
Say it like you have passion. Imagine if I said,
I was created for success. I have the ability to be all that I dream of. I will succeed.
very good. Somebody else?
My name is Musanze.
Which school are you?
My school is Lycée Notre Dame de Cité.
Okay. Which year of school are you?
I'm finishing my studies.
You're doing French?
I'm finishing my secondary studies.
Okay, you're finishing your secondary studies?
Yes.
Okay. You're very sure you're finished?
Yes, I'm sure.
Are you sure?
Yes.
If I take you back, you're very sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, so what did you say? What did you want to tell us?
I was created for success.
Mm-hmm.
I have the ability to be all that I dream of.
Mm-hmm.
I will succeed.
Very good. I want you to look at the difference. When I ask her to say her name, because she knows she's called by those names, she says it as it is. Is there any shaking in her voice? No. But when I say I was praying for success, she's checking and counter-checking. I want you to say it like you believe it, for each one of us. I want you to read it for yourself. Can you say your name and say, I'll say, I, Elizabeth Mwangi, I was created for success. I have the ability to be all that I dream of. I will succeed. Because you must first believe in your dream. You cannot be modest about it. You must believe that you are successful and you are the best that they can be. Let's give a hand to her. Thank you. Many times in the African context, we are so used to being, how do I say it? Polite. You don't want to show you're too aggressive. You don't want people to think that you're trying to fight them. One day I went to America to do some assignment. And I met some Americans. And when they want to talk about themselves, they're not modest at all. I'm sure you watched even some of the programs that they have. If you ask somebody, are you good at drawing? They say, yeah, in fact, I'm the very best. It doesn't matter that you have not checked whether there are other people. You've just asked them. They believe in themselves. Believing is the first step to achieving your dream. If you don't think you can, you won't. What is this? It's soda. If I put it in this bottle, what will it become? If I put this in this bottle, what will it become? It doesn't change. That is the point. Because this soda believes it is soda. If I put it in the bottle, it will be soda. If I pour it on the floor, it will be what? Soda. The reason why you need to believe is because you will be challenged. There will be tough things that will challenge you. Emotionally, psychologically, financially, socially. Those challenges will come. But because you believe in that which you know you have the capacity to become the best. You have the ability to read, to study, to be the best in Southern Province and beyond. Then it doesn't matter what you go through. You will be the best. Why? Because soda does not change its character. It doesn't matter the bottle. It doesn't matter where you put it. You'll still have to deal with it. If you drink it from a spoon, is it any different? The experience may be different, but the content is the same. Let's look at it. I want us to go to Kigali. How can we go to Kigali? How long do you think it will take us to go to Kigali? 2 hours. For us to go to Kigali, what do we need? A car. Which car? What are our options? We've assumed 2 hours, but there are many ways to get to Kigali. We can get to Kigali in 4 days. If we walk, we can get it in 4 days. Do you understand? If we take a small car, we can take 2 days, maybe 2 hours. If we take a lorry which is overloaded and it's going like this, how many hours will it take? It also depends on which route we are using. How can we go to Kigali? We can go through Goma first, we go around to get to Kigali. Do you understand? Now that's what I'm asking. How do you want to get to your Kigali? Because that is your Kigali in your 2 hours. What do you need to do? What information do you require? Because for us to go to Kigali, we need to plan. We must ask ourselves, which is the best way to get there? We can get there in 2 hours, but maybe the experience will not be good enough. Maybe by going to Goma, we'll take 4 days, but the experience will be good. Where do you want to be? Because to be the best doctor in the world, maybe you need to work in 5 countries. Which 5 countries do you want to work in? Write them down. Do you understand? So those are the things you need to be interacting with. Because dreaming is not just saying, when I grow up, I want to be. No. For you to act on something, you must have a definite plan. And I cannot be the one who has it, because you're the one who has the capacity. I know what I want to be next week. I know where I want to be and what I want to be doing. Do you? You need to have your own plan. Otherwise, anything that comes will just shift you like the wind. Starting now does not mean passing exams only. It's more than that. It's looking at the totality of your life and the excellence with which you do things. The way you're living your life now, when you're that thing, is that the way you want your life to be? Are you the kind of person who wakes up only when the bell rings? Do you study because the teacher is looking? Maybe you're clever. Maybe you're passing exams because you're on a scholarship and you must pass exams. No. You must understand that your dream must come true. So don't do it, not for me, not for us. Because the director has her degree paper at home. True? Yeah, her degree paper is sitting at home. I don't think it's helping you. Her degree paper will not support you, but she believes in your dream. Do you believe in your dream? You must believe first that God has already given it to you. And if He believes He can trust you with that dream, then you must believe yourself. Because if us, we can see it, you must be able surely to see it. What information do you require to become that person that you've written there? What information do you require when you're going to Kigali? We need to ask ourselves, is it going to rain so we can wear the right clothes? Is that true? If I'm going to Kigali, I'm going to ask myself, how many people are we going so we can arrange ourselves? Because I might need other people. If I am going on this journey, I'll ask myself, what experience do I want to have? What sacrifice must I make? Because it will cost you something. There's nothing for free. True? Who is going to pay that sacrifice? If I tell you to go, those winding roads, when we were coming, I was feeling like I'm going dizzy like that. It's a sacrifice, but I was willing to make it. Are you willing to make a sacrifice to get to your Kigali? What sacrifice do you need to make? Those are that's the information you need to know. As a lady, some of the challenges you have are maybe more than the guys. How much time do you need to spend investing in that so that you can become that what you have written? Are you just sitting at home being lazy and only reading when you have to read? Just because everybody in your province thinks you're clever, so you don't even bother to read. Your parents say, go and read. You say, but I'm clever. I was number 1 after all, or number 2, or number 3. After all, Imputo is still very happy with me. So you're out there with the social pressures. All the boys telling you how nice you are. I told you people will be attracted to success. Don't be deceived. Very many young men are very happy to be your friends. But is this the time? Is this the time? You can be friends. You can exchange books. But there are other things you cannot exchange before you sign a certificate. Is that true? Yes. Girl, if you get pregnant now, what happens to that person that you've written there in that year? If you plant seeds, maize, what will you harvest? If you plant bad maize, what will you harvest? You can't harvest anything. There's nothing like bad maize. If you plant maize, you harvest? Maize. If you plant bad maize, you harvest? Nothing. Simple. You harvest nothing. So everything you're doing right now, you are planting. You're planting towards that dream you have written. You're planting your conversations towards that. Your character. Your personal leadership is not what you do when we are here in Imputo meeting. We are very happy to look at you, very nice and polished, washed face, beautiful t-shirt. But when you leave this meeting, what do? How do you conduct your life? And is it towards your dream or away from it? Are you planting a good maize or is it a bad maize? Are you affecting that thing which you're supposed to be bringing out to the world? How much knowledge do you need? Question. How many of you are number 1 in school in the last exam? You are number 1. Let's clap for them. Hi, be happy for them. You must be happy for them. And the rest of us? Would you be number 1 in Southern Province? Eastern Province? Would you be number 1 in Uganda? If I put you in a school in Nairobi, will you be number 1? Don't read for Rwanda. Don't read for Southern Province. Don't read to pass exams. Read so that it doesn't matter where you are, you will be the best. That information is changing you, changing your community, changing your environment. That is what is most important. Always ask yourself, today we are going to award you a gift, but if you are going to be called to another stage, would you still be number one? Will you? Will you?
Yes.
Some people don't believe me, they're not even saying anything. They're still wondering. What is our goal? Our goal is a target with a deadline. There must be a deadline. You must say by this day. That's why I asked you by when. Because if you don't have a goal, then what happens? And we're going to talk a bit more about the goal. But for you to act, you must be aspiring. You must be motivated. How do you motivate yourself? You know, one day in my first class in biology, did you do biology?
Yes.
My first biology class, I got, I think, 40%. And that's how I think that's the time when I was number 17. And I hated biology. I told myself, I don't care this thing, I can never, in my mind, I told myself that I will never be able to understand biology. So I didn't care, I didn't bother with it for that term. That was my first year, senior 1. And I was like, biology is too hard because we're doing kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genera. You know, the kingdom, what is called classification. Yes. You see, we do the same things you do. That's why I'm asking you whether you're going to be number 1 in Kenya or here. Because it's exactly the same biology. How do you think we call this thing in Kenya? I. The same way you call it I. There's no new information. It may be presented in a different language, but the information is the same across the globe. That's why you must be the best. You cannot say, oh, you know, but I only went to a Rwandan school. Rwanda has got the same quality as the other international schools. It's the same information. This is just a location. It doesn't mean it's your destination. So I said I cannot be number 1. I don't like biology. But then came a teacher who said, biology is not as bad as you think. I want you to open your mind and believe you can read it and understand it. When we left classification and we began to do other things in biology, I began to improve. Because I discovered my challenge was just in classification. It didn't mean it was the whole of biology. And I changed my attitude. When we finished high school, the final exam, I had an A in biology, in the national exam. That, for me, was a transformation. And I didn't get the A the day of my senior 4. No, I got it progressively. Because by the time I was number 1 in senior 2, I was already getting 80 and 90% in biology. Do you understand? But you have to see it in pieces. You must be able to have self-motivation. You have to tell yourself, that's what I was telling you, tell yourself, I am a success. Because if you wake up and say, have you ever woken up in the morning, and when you wake up you feel, today is going to be so bad. Is that true? I don't feel like going to class. I don't feel like doing anything. Have you ever felt like that? Or am I the only one who has a problem? Do you ever feel like that sometimes? So how does your day end if you entertain that thought? Because if you keep feeling, I don't feel like doing anything, even your body just takes that lazy feeling and that lazy look. But if you come and say, I don't feel like doing anything, but I will do something about it. You put yourself in order and energize yourself and say, you know what, in 2020, I am going to be, therefore I have to work now. How I feel, I have to encourage myself. The only way to stay motivated is to have a very clear goal. You have to aspire. Look at those people who have done it before you. Look at our First Lady. That picture should be inspiring enough that you can be all that. Do you think she jumped high school? Do you think she jumped high school? That she was born and kept in the house and was made the president's wife? No. Even the president wanted an educated wife because he needs somebody who can support him. So even as she went, she became the best she could be for her to be identified even as our First Lady. She was being the best she was supposed to be, doing what she's supposed to be doing. So what about you? Look at those people. There's nothing that you're going through as a woman, as a young lady, that the rest of us have not gone through. There's no boy who's going to tell you you're so beautiful that they didn't tell us. Find people who you can be able to get good mentors. Do you know what a mentor is? Huh? A mentor is somebody who you talk to about your life. For example, if I am mentoring her, she will come to me and say, I'm having a challenge, I cannot read. I may not be teaching her biology, but I can encourage her to go forward. You understand? So a mentor is somebody who's older than you, who can keep you encouraged. Sometimes maybe our parents are very harsh. You understand? Your parents are harsh, go and read, do the right thing, and you, even when you have a problem, you don't feel like you can talk to them. But you can find us. That's why Imbuto Foundation has us as your mentors. The reason I am here is because I'm available for you to ask any question. Maybe things you cannot ask other people. That's why all these ladies are in this room. Because they're saying, we have been there, talk to us. We're not going to be harsh. We expect that you're going to go have very high standards, but we're not going to be harsh about it. Then you must choose wisely. You must choose your friends. You must choose how you spend your time. You must choose where you spend your time, and you must choose what you're doing. If you have the option of watching TV the whole day or reading a book, what will you choose? What will you choose? Don't tell me you read a book because that's what I want to hear. That is not necessarily true. Some days you want to read a book, and some days you want to watch TV. Or you can read a book in the morning and watch TV in the afternoon. Are you understanding? I am not saying watching TV is a bad thing, but you must choose what you want to hear. You must choose what programs you must watch. You must choose when to watch them. Because if you're going to watch TV the whole day, what value are you adding in the home? You're at home. There are dishes to be washed. There are people to be seen. Maybe the people, even your neighbor is sick, you've not even visited with them. There are other young women like you who are struggling in school. Can you call them and say, let's have a club, let's read, let's encourage one another, because we have reached you. How are you reaching somebody else? Many times I have seen, we take you from maybe your district or your village. You're the only one who Imbuto Foundation is sponsoring, because we could only be able to finance maybe or support one person. So we give you an award. But after we give you the award, you just read, you don't even encourage the other young ladies in your estate. You don't tell them what we tell you. Like, why are you here? What we're telling you should tell them, because you're learning something. Is that true? So if you tell them, you also encourage them. So that you're not, because what is the point of being celebrated alone? If all the girls in your village were pregnant and you were not pregnant, is that a good thing? No. Because you must encourage the others also. Give them the same values. What we are teaching you, teach other people. So you go back and say, this is how I spend my time and think I do. Okay. Yeah? So you must choose wisely. But you also have to be timely. Look at how are you spending your time? Stick with your vision. Every time you feel discouraged, remember what you want to do. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. It may not be easy, but just keep doing it. Otherwise, if I was coming to this meeting and the road is winding and say, I've had enough, stop. But I keep on telling myself, there is a meeting I am going to. I'm going to meet wonderful people, so I stick with that vision. Second, you must conquer your fear. What are you so afraid of? Sometimes we're afraid of being number one. We're afraid of trying too hard. Don't be afraid. Do it. Try. There's nothing to fear. I don't start my day without writing. When I sit at my desk, the first thing I say, 10 minutes, what do I want to do today? And you can see. Can you see? Yes. You may not be able to read everything. But as I turn pages, you can see. I go marking. Have I achieved it? What am I achieving? How am I achieving it? What are the comments I am making? I can tell you what I've been doing in the last 6 months, because this is my book for the last 6 months. I keep going back and checking, did I miss something? It's important for you to write. It's not a diary. You see, it doesn't have a date. It's me who puts the date. So it's me who decides when it's going to get done, how it's going to get done. You can see, this is on the 7th of September. I can tell you which meetings I had with which clients, what were the discussions we were having, and how we did what. This is my middle page. You can see it is folded. Why? Because this is where my annual targets are. These are my goals, and I can put how much money I want to make out of those targets. Can you see?
I don't want you to say we're telling you things that we don't do ourselves. We also have to do like that. Excellence is a behavior, it's a habit. I cannot start my day until I have done it. I can tell you what I was doing yesterday. This is what I was doing yesterday. This is 29. Yesterday was this one of backing up and this. Even the people I was going to pay money, I've written at them at the corner of my book. And this is, I won't show you how much it is, but this is how much money I needed to pay yesterday. I need to pay my taxi, I need to pay for the bank charges, I need to do some, I put it down. Because you have to be organized, it doesn't matter how. But you cannot say when I get money, I'll get organized. If you have 10 francs and you don't know where it goes every day, when you get 100 francs, you will not know where it goes. Do you understand? So you don't become rich when you have money. You're already rich now. Use what you have well. Be organized. Lead yourself. Take time to think. Then challenge your assumptions. Check what is it are you assuming. What information do you have that is correct and what is wrong? And ask questions. And don't be happy to just be the best in certain problems. Look at yourself, how do I maintain that leadership? Achieve 5 things per day. Every day write down 5 things. What do I want to do today? There's something I call dealing with the hardest thing first. Let me tell you, when you serve food, when you are growing up, let's listen please. When you are growing up, there's something that your mother would put in the plate that you don't like. Yeah? If I put some vegetables that you don't like, maybe sukuma wiki, I put some ugali, then I put some chapati. Is it chapati? Then I put some millet ugali, then I put some beef, then I put some nice chicken. And you don't like the vegetable. Many times, what did you do? You eat the vegetable in a hurry so that you can enjoy your chicken. That's true. In the same way, ask yourself, what is this subject that you're studying that you find so difficult and spend so much time? When it's an exam coming, you don't want to do it. What is this big challenge that you're afraid of? And deal with it. Get information. Put your energy into it and be the best you can be. That is what is called dealing with the hardest things first. Put it as your top 5 priority. And spend more time revising. Because very easily when you're in high school, it's easy to read the things that you're happy to read. The English book you don't want to read. If you're going to be celebrated beyond Kigali, you cannot tell me that if I speak English, you cannot understand some words. How are you going to compete? We have gone to the East Africa community. Have you heard about the East Africa community? So in 20 years, you'll be working you will be that person in the East Africa community. What is the East Africa community language? It's not Kinyarwanda, it's not Kiswahili, it's English. That's true. So how are you going to be able to compete for the same jobs that the Ugandans are looking, the Kenyans are looking, the Rwandans are looking, the Congo people are looking? How are you going to compete? When they send a scholarship for Africa, how are you going to compete if you can't even speak English? Because they're sending to the East Africa. If our governments are going that way, why are you being left behind? Spend time reading. Spend time. Leave your best hours for your most valuable work, but most of all, take pride in what you have done. Celebrate it. When I say clap for yourself, you don't even look happy. Why? If you told me to celebrate myself, you'd be surprised. I'd be running, jumping, happy, singing for me. Because you have to celebrate yourself. Nobody has the time to celebrate sometimes what you have. When you're faced with a challenge, stay true to your vision. But also know that the little things are the big things. The way you do those small things is the way you do the big things. Who are these people? Condoleezza Rice, exactly. This is Condoleezza Rice. Do you think she went to high school? Do you think she went to high school? Do you think she went to school? Did she do primary school, senior school? Do you people think she went to school? She didn't go to school. She was just born and became Condoleezza Rice. Huh?
Am I not communicating? Can you ask them?
Muramwumva mwumva icyo yabasabye yababajije ko mudasubiza yarize murabona Condoleezza Rice yarize yagiye ku ishuri none ko mudasubiza yego oya inkuru tuzikeka Condoleezza Rice yarize
Mother Teresa, you know Mother Teresa? She has helped everybody in the world. What was she doing? She just wanted to help one person. Then she helped one more person. Then she helped one person. She was not helping the world. Do you understand? That is how she became the best. Even for you, start by being good at one thing. And then another thing. Then you will be the best in the world. Do you know these people? You know these people? Are you sure? That's my sister. Have you ever seen her? She looks like somebody you know. She's your sister also. She's just your older sister. She's your mother. She's somebody's mother. She's somebody's sister. Isn't that true? She's there's somebody who says, oh my baby, and she's the first lady. Is that true? There's somebody who says, oh my sister, and she's still the first lady. Somebody who says, oh my mommy, and she's still the first lady. And soon somebody will say, oh my grandmommy, and she's still the first lady. There is nowhere in the world we shall have a meeting to discuss why people fail. If you're a victim, you'll be giving excuses. If you're a leader, you'll give us results. We want results. Don't be busy, being busy without bringing results. Sometimes you're doing so many things, but what is the outcome? That we must consider.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
imbere heza hafite abantu bizeye inzozi zabo nziza.
So what does that mean to you? Let's not just say what is written. What does that mean to you?
It means that when I have a good dreams, I have a good future.
You have a good dream, you have a good future, but you have to believe in it.
Yeah.
So the future is not for anybody, it's for who? Those who believe in what they have written. Do you believe what you have written?
Yes.
Do you believe you can be what you want to be?
If you believe it, say yes. Only 5 people believe. Only 5 people believe. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You must see that beautiful thing before you can get it. Your dreams can come true. You know mosquito? It brings malaria. So the mosquito is flying. Then I catch it. I put it. Is the mosquito I have caught dead or is it alive? Are you sure? Is the mosquito dead or alive? If you say it is dead, I can open my hands and prove to you you are wrong. If you say it's alive, I can crush it and open my hands and it will be dead. That means the power of it is in my hands. It's the same thing with your future. Can we all catch our future? Catch your future, catch your future. Catch. Now it depends on you. You are going to either kill it or make it. Okay, let's catch our future. Catch. Now you decide. The future is in your hands. The future is in your hands. Make sure you don't kill it. Make it happen. Thank you.